Banyue is finally here in Zenless Zone Zero. Well, almost. In this video, we finally get a first look at Banyue through the story mode. This will be the first video in a two-part series featuring Banyue and will be solely focused on a full kit breakdown. And yes, it is that complex. In the next video, we'll talk about his potential team synergies, mindscapes, and free-to-play and meta value. For now though, sit back, relax, and let's do this. Banyue is our upcoming S-rank fire rupture agent from the Krampus Compliance Authority and will be featured in the second half of the 2.4 patch. Out of every single agent that we've gotten so far in Zenless Zone Zero, Banyue is definitely the trickiest and has the most complex kit. We'll break down the kit the best we can here, and then we'll definitely take an even better look once those early access guides come out in a couple weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. There are a few important concepts when it comes to Banyue. First, take a look at this meter right under his character profile picture. This is the Wrathful Fires meter, and based on the extensive core passive, we can see that you can store up to 150 fires. Based on this core passive text blurb, these are the different ways you can get these Wrathful Fires. 0.5 Wrathful Fires for every point of adrenaline, 4 Wrathful Fires per defensive assist, 4 when parrying an enemy with dodge a movable mountain, and 6 when this becomes a perfect parry, which can activate once every 1 second, and 4 Wrathful Fires on a perfect dodge. For now, just note that Immovable Mountain is a parry that Banyue can do at pretty much any time while he's attacking. When you have 120 of these Wrathful Fires, you can then enter the Visage of Wrath state by using Basic Attack Immolate, Chain Attack, or Ultimate. This new Visage state is what unlocks his powerful moves, Toppling Mountain and Crushing Peaks, which are these forms of different mountains slamming onto the enemy. In the state, he'll also gain another resource indicated by these tiny little pips on his character meter called Mountain's Might, but we'll discuss those in a little bit more detail here in a second. But now for the complicated stuff, because it's time to talk about Banyue's combos. To do this, we're going to jump into the kit breakdown section, and it's going to get a little bit weird. If you have any questions about his kit overall, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer each one that I can. If you looked at his skill menus, you might be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of basic attacks he has, but it really breaks down to 2 combo starters: Basic Attack Towering Peaks and Basic Attack Majestic Summit. I'll put both blurbs on the screen at the same time, but notice that Towering Peaks is activated with the Basic Attack button, while Majestic Summit is using the Special button. Either form of this combo starter has 4 attacks in front and they all deal fire damage. Every single strike of these basic attacks matters a lot, and will chain into respective EX special attacks. Basic Attack Immolate is just simply holding down the basic attack button when you have 120 Wrathful Fires, allowing you to enter into that Visage of Wrath state. Think of Basic Attack Inflame as an out-of-combat move in order to quickly generate Wrathful Fires. However, you can only use it very sparingly. Basic Attack Toppling Mountain is one of my favorite moves in the game, because Banyue will take these 2 massive mountains and smash them onto the enemy in an amazing animation. Also, I have a sneaky suspicion that Christopher Sabat voices Banyue, and he so happens to play Vegeta and All Might, so the smash concept really works out. Anyway, Basic Attack Crushing Peaks will be performed after 2 different EX specials are activated. This will launch the beads forward, imprisoning the enemies, and then automatically go into the Toppling Mountain Smash. Note that both this Crushing Peaks and the Toppling Mountain Smash must be used inside the Visage of Wrath state, and cannot be used any other time. Banyue also has a lot of weird dodging mechanics, but here's where that Immovable Mountain comes into play, because at any point during his attack sequences, you can press dodge without moving your joystick to activate a defensive rock-hard stance. This is an automatic parry and will accumulate days. However, you can also turn it into that perfect block if you press it at the exact time you're being attacked. Think of this like any other parry in the game, and it seems to be a common theme amongst our Rupture characters. But it gets weirder with Dodge Battle Cry. If you rotate your joystick in a half circle and press dodge to activate, you will taunt the enemy. You can also use this as a follow-up after any EX special attack, do another EX special input to go to that next EX special attack. This is one of the ways to activate Scattering Sands. You can go into this taunt and hold basic attack to use his dash attack Scattering Sands, and then follow up into the second hit of basic attack Towering Peaks or Majestic Summit, which is those combo starters. Note that you can also do this Scattering Sands by a regular dodge by just pressing basic attack afterwards. Stone Burst is activated after either form of perfect dodge we just mentioned and will launch a forward attack that deals fire damage, but this will combo into the third hit of either combo starter. Banyue's chain attack is pretty normal, it'll just automatically enter Visage of Wrath if you have 120 fires. Assist follow up is normal, but remember that this is one of the ways in order to get Wrathful Fires. But now I need you all to prepare yourselves. It is now time to talk about the dreaded EX special attacks. Every EX special attack in his big list can be activated in 2 or 3 different ways. First, every single EX special attack can be activated during another EX special attack, basic attack Immolate, chain attack, ultimate, assist follow-up, dodge counter, or quick assist by inputting a certain sequence of buttons quickly. It is a 3-button input command sequence, and we'll discuss the different ones for each EX special. Let's start with EX special attack Lion's Roar. During any of those moves we just mentioned, if you quickly input basic attack, special attack, you will activate Lion's Roar. But here's where those important basic attack string combo starters come into play. For example, in Lion's Roar, if you have enough adrenaline, and during the first or second hit of basic attack Towering Peaks, press the special button and you'll also activate Lion's Roar in this way. In other words, basically, you have 2 ways to activate Lion's Roar, either from that combo starter into Lion's Roar, or from any of those lists of moves and then quickly inputting that 3-button sequence. And this is the common theme between all of the EX specials. Let's take a look at another example with Mountain Tremor. You can start this with the other basic attack string on the first or second hit, comboing into this move. The button sequence is the exact opposite of what we just had with Lion's Roar. Lion's Roar was basic, special. Mountain Tremor is special, basic. But yet, there's still more EX specials. Earth Shaker! This has 3 different ways to get into it. First, you will use the basic attack Towering Peaks combo starter and combo in after the 3rd or 4th hit. The second way is after an assist follow-up, dodge counter, or quick assist, you can hold the special button. And the third way is our common button input presses, except this one is basic, special, basic. But here's where it gets a little bit strange. This move can combo into another EX special attack follow-up called Mountain Tremor Wrath. And I know it's a bit silly that Mountain Tremor doesn't combo into Mountain Tremor Wrath, but I don't know. Anyway, after you use EX Special Earthshaker, which is those ground pounds, quickly input special basic in order to use Mountain Tremor Wrath. This idea of the follow-up will be also shared in our next example. EX Special Attack One's Path also has 3 ways to get into it. This will be from the 3rd or 4th hit of the other basic attack string, Majestic Summit. After you use assist follow-up, dodge counter, or quick assist, you can hold basic attack, or during the long list of usual moves, you can input special, basic, special in order to activate. The follow-up for this EX special is called Lion's Roar Wrath, in which you'll quickly input basic, special to get the powerful version of the Sonic Wave. The last thing to mention is that there's a perfect cancel window with all of these different EX specials. Whew, okay. I know that was a lot, so if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. But let's really condense this into the combo strings that are important. Most of the time, you'll want to start off with either EX Special Attack One's Path or EX Special Attack Earthshaker. The easiest way to get into these is after the 3rd or 4th hit of either basic attack combo starter, but you have the other 2 ways that you can do it. The reason I liked these 2 more is that they have those follow-up versions, Lion's Roar Wrath and Mountain Tremor Wrath. But note that any of the base forms of EX Special that aren't these follow-ups can combo into each other as per that little blurb right there in each one. When your decibel rating is at 3000 aka max, it's finally time to unleash the ultimate. Press Q to activate the World Trembles, which will launch a large area attack in front, dealing massive fire damage, and automatically enter Visage of Wrath if you have 120 Wrathful Fires. Because that kit breakdown went so much longer than every other video, we can luckily quickly breeze through the core passives. There's two things to discuss with one with the mountains. First is this text blurb that is the conversion rate of sheer force based on Banyue's max HP, and the second is that resource we mentioned called Mountain's Might. You'll gain 4 of these when entering Visage of Wrath, and if you have this resource, launching an EX special will no longer consume adrenaline, but will instead consume one of these mountain points and restore 10 adrenaline. All of these will be lost upon leaving the Visage of Wrath, and if you have these points, you can hold down special to launch an automatic combo of 4 different EX specials and basic attack toppling mountain. This last blurb just states that when he uses EX special or assist follow-up, his sheer force increases by 300, fire damage by 36%, and crit damage by 36% for 30 seconds, with repeated triggers resetting the duration. Additional ability Mountain Zenith is activated when a support or stun character is with Banyue, and when using those Mountain's Might points to unleash EX special, you'll gain a new buff called Vidyaraja. You can stack this up to 3 times, lasting 8 seconds, with repeated triggers resetting the duration, and each stack increases his fire damage by 5% for a max of 15. So let's summarize Banyue's core combat loop. At a basic level, Banyue wants to be on field collecting Wrathful Fires from any of those ways we talked about in the core passive. When you have at least 120 of these, you can enter the Visage of Wrath state and unlock his really powerful basic attack, Toppling Mountain and Crushing Peaks. In order to really master Banyue, you're going to want to learn the different combo routes featuring his EX special line. You'll be able to enter these different EX specials in a couple of different ways, like holding different buttons or inputting different button commands after that whole giant list of moves we stated earlier. The better way to get to these EX specials is through those different basic attack combo starters. Depending on which starter you use, and if you're on the first 2 hits or the 3rd and 4th hit, you will enter into a different EX special. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments below and I'll answer each one that I can. And there you have it for a full kit breakdown of Banyue. He is definitely the most complex character we have in Zenless so far, but he's also highly satisfying and rewarding to really learn. Stay tuned for a follow-up video on Banyue featuring his possible team synergies as well as his mindscapes and meta value. In addition, in just a couple weeks, we'll have early access footage for Banyue and we'll really break him down and see how good he really is. In the meantime, if this guide helped in any way, please make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Zenless Zone Zero. Thank you all very much for watching, and bye for now.